Welcome to a GopherHole podcast. My name is Nadine Babu, and I am joined by a very special guest today. One of my favorite all-time Gophers and many people's favorite, Rodney Smith. Welcome, Rodney.
Hello, I'm glad to be a part of your podcast.
I'm so excited. This is my very first video one. So
Yeah,
please give me some leeway. This is tough. I mean, Daniel House does these and he eats them up. And for me, I'm like, how's my hair? How's this angle? It's a
all
little
right.
game. So we're doing this on the podcast and on the video for whoever wants to see you. And I always prefer seeing your expressions and how excited you are and happy. So I'm really glad to have you on our Talk North podcast. So let's just start with this crazy situation. You have gone back home and are on quarantine. So basically, what has happened since the bowl game with, pro days and scouting and training and all that kind of stuff?
So for me, after the bowl game, I trained here in Georgia, up in Lawrenceville with Chip Smith. I got a little banged up in the bowl game, so I wasn't able to play in the East-West Shrine game. So from that point on, I was training for the combine. Didn't get a combine invite, so I got was getting ready for pro day, and like I said, of course, with what's going on now, everything in worldwide has been shut down. So for me, with the gym being closed, work out at home or go to a neighborhood park by myself and run around just to break a sweat to stay in shape. Um, Got to get creative. That's definitely the challenge. Just getting creative with ways to stay in shape.
So let's hear how you're staying in shape. Like, what have been some of the ways you've gotten creative, and what have you been doing? Because I just can't imagine preparing for the next step in the NFL and not even having a gym to go
All right. So for me, I'm lucky enough to have space downstairs in our basement. We have a basement, and it used to be a barbell and a bench down there to work out, but the bar bent up, so it's no weights down there, but it's still a space for me to move around. So I've taken like little step up hurdles down there just to do footwork stuff. Like I said, high intensity things where that's just running in place, high knees, jumping jacks. I've even found some of my friends doing like dance workout videos. I've taken boxes and held them and did squats with them. So those are just some of the things that I found to do.
So have you virtually worked out with any of your teammates or anything like that?
We haven't worked out virtually, not me and any of my teammates, but Chip Smith, the place where I was training at before he closed his gym, we had a virtual pro day. He was able to get some of the drills that we do on pro days recorded and sent out to teams. So that was fun. Like I said, it wasn't a true pro day in front of NFL scouts, but it was an opportunity just to show them how I move.
Yeah. So what kind of things did they measure for you, and were you happy with your performance at that?
Yeah, I was happy. They took height and weight, arm length, hand size. I ran the 40. I did the 5-10-5 split shuttle, and the L cone shuttle drill. Um, and I was pleased with the times. Like I said, with the video, it gives teams a chance to time them themselves if they don't believe that I truly ran it or edited it. They have the ability to time it themselves.
So obviously you didn't get to participate in, pro days and whatnot. What is a team getting if they get you?
Someone that loves the game, and I take pride in preparing for the game, preparing preparing for ways to help the team win. I'm all about the team. Whatever I can do to help the team, I will do. Whether that's on special teams, whether that's to go in and block, whatever a team needs. And I feel like I'm also versatile. I could be used in many different assets in the game, in the return game if you need me. Again, on special teams, if you need me to be a gunner on kickoff or on punt team, I can go down and make a tackle. Just, just a versatile guy.
Going back to preparing for games, I actually heard you have a weird tradition of warming up your big toe. I did my research for this interview, by the way, Rodney. There are going to be a lot of questions like that.
How did you hear about that?
It's just the word on the street. I do my research. I do my homework.
That is accurate. That is accurate. I against Illinois, I stubbed my toe a little bit, and I'm sure all Gophers know who Demarius Travis is. Demarius actually gave me some exercise to do for my feet before the games. So, yeah, pregame, I go out barefoot and do my exercises for my feet and my toes. Doesn't matter how cold it is, if it's snowing, my socks are off.
So like the Wisconsin game, that it was cold and sleeting and snowing and everything. You went out there with bare feet on the field, and what did you do?
So I do toe grabs. I do a set of toe grabs. I stretch my big toe. So I bend it both ways. Try to get some mobility in it and just feeling the turf. I think feeling the turf with your feet, without shoes on your feet, gives you more feel for the ground when you actually put your cleats on and go out and play.
I love that. You just kind of feel connected with your field then.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's fantastic. So going back to like the real serious questions, what interest have you gotten from NFL teams?
I've talked to a number of teams recently. I've been hearing from the Panthers and the Redskins the most. I've talked a lot with the running back coach for the Panthers. It's a new staff, obviously, and they're trying to find a depth piece to go along with Christian McCaffrey. So I know that he said they'll be taking a running back. And the Redskins finding younger guys. They have a lot of running backs, but Adrian Peterson is getting older, and Darius Geist. He's struggled staying on the field with injuries. So they're just everybody's trying to find depth pieces. And those are the two teams that I've been hearing from the most.
Yeah, that's great. So, how come you did decide to finish college? Because you could have obviously gone pro last year and whatnot. What made you decide to stay in school?
I feel that it gave me the best opportunity to do what I wanted to do while still getting a top-notch education. Because I actually graduated with my undergrad in 2018, so I already had a degree, and I was in my master's program. So I felt that if with me coming back, I felt like I could get another degree and still had the opportunity to pursue my dream of being a NFL football player.
Well, first of all, congratulations. That's amazing. You're someone who's taken every advantage of every opportunity you've been given. And I should say you've not been given, but you've worked for. So what are your degrees in? And I mean, just kind of going post football, what do you want to do then?
So my undergrad degree is in youth studies, and my master's, I'm not quite finished, but I'm right there at the end. Is in youth development leadership, and I just want to impact young people, work with them, inspire them, encourage them. I'm not 100% sure what exactly I want to do, but I've had internships, doing social work, um, volunteering, of course, is a big thing with our program. It's something that has always been near and dear to me. I was heavily involved with the Boys and Girls Club um, and I'm looking into doing some research on counseling. So it's not concrete what I want to do yet, but I know for a fact that I do want to work with young people and impact them.
That's amazing. So kind of going, I mean, because obviously NFL teams, they look at a person's character, and knowing you personally, I know your character is top notch. Where does that stem from? I mean, were your parents very strict on you being raised? What were the main things that they taught you and that you really value?
So I definitely got everything that I know from my parents. They did a wonderful job. Uh,
They did.
I believe they did a wonderful job raising me, I should say. Um, but just be true to who you are. And if you believe in something, fight for it. Do what you can to make sure that it happens. Prepare like no other. Prepare as hard as you can. So when the opportunity does present itself, you take advantage of it. It might not come when you expect it, but if you prepare for it, then when you do get that opportunity, like I say, you seize the moment and do what you can with it. And I think that's what I've been doing my whole life. Even in Minnesota, and I got my opportunity, seized the moment, and made the most out of it.
I was gonna say because I wouldn't say you're an underdog, but you've never been like the person that's been really, really hyped, and you've always exceeded expectations. So is that just kind of one of your things that you like, having that chip on your shoulder and being able to prove yourself?
Definitely, but I think ultimately it's me just proving to myself, accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish, making my parents proud, and I know that I will make them proud just pursuing what I want to do and being whoever it is that I want to be. I know that they'll support me in whatever it is that I want to do. Um, but yeah, I definitely think that it helps me out. Um, uh, Working that way, it motivates me, and wouldn't have it any other way.
That's great. What about former teammates too that have made it to the league, or ones that have done it, just done well post, like one of your close friends, Jonathan Celestine in the XFL? What kind of advice have all of them given you about this process and what to do?
You just have to stay motivated. It is tough, but it's the business, like I said. But control the things that you can control, and that's how you prepare and how you work. Um, and you have to be headstrong because just because a team doesn't call you doesn't mean that your days playing football are done. And know that there are other opportunities outside of the NFL if the NFL doesn't work out. Um, that's something that John told me, as you know, he's in the XFL.
Mhm.
So just being headstrong and knowing that I had the ability, and whether or not teams see it and want to use it or not isn't up to me. But just like I said, just preparing and staying in shape and doing what I can to be the best person that I can be is the only thing that I can do to help.
Yeah. What is your update on Jonathan? I mean, obviously the season's been called off, but what's his experience been? Obviously being signed to NFL teams and then the XFL, and I don't even know much about the XFL. Has he liked it? Is it fun? I mean, it's obviously there's a ton of talent there.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed this season. I was gonna try to get out to one of his games, but he enjoyed it. He had nothing but good things to say about it. And it's unfortunate that that season got cut short. But now I believe his agent is working on trying to get him on the NFL roster. Like I said, we don't know what's going to go on, but I know that some XFL guys have signed with teams in the NFL. And I talked to John. I believe that his agent is working on trying to get him on a roster as well.
I think he needs to be playing on Sundays. I mean, even those XFL games where I saw little bits and pieces, it was just like pick six, and he just excelled in every single thing. He's excelled at every level, just like you. And it's just kind of getting that chance.
Yep. Like I said, you just got to control the things you can control, and that's preparation and what you do when you get that opportunity.
Your attitude is just much better than mine is. I'd be like more frustrated, but that's exactly why you kept on going. Speaking of going, I would love to talk a little bit about your Gopher career. Obviously, this last year you broke the school's all-purpose yards record held by Darrell Thompson, who's actually my favorite Gopher of all time. You're just like down like top 5. What does it mean to follow in his footsteps? And obviously, I know he was so proud of you. What are things that he told you, and advice in the beginning and congratulating you towards the end?
Yeah, Mr. Darrell means a lot to me. He also is heavily involved with the community. He owns his own organization working with kids. But he just told me, like I said, just keep preparing, keep working. And he was proud of me. And that meant a lot to me because, not everybody is motivating to the guy that breaks their record. So to see him excited and happy for me meant a lot to me. And he gave me a hug and told me just, like I said, just to keep working.
Yeah, Boulder Options, his organization is fantastic. You ever see yourself maybe, actually, yeah, post graduation too? Like you're obviously at home right now, but do you see yourself in Minnesota, maybe partnering up, working with him, or do you want to stay down south where there's not very good Wi-Fi?
I'm not sure yet. I've thought about both. Minnesota is definitely a place where I could see myself living and starting a life with a family with. But home is home, so it's something to think about moving forward. But as of right now, if I were to say, it would definitely be Georgia just because of the weather. But that's the only thing that Georgia has on top of Minnesota right now, just the weather.
I like that answer because I agree with that, but also too, I don't like it super hot. So in summer, it would not be an advantage.
Right, that's true. That's true.
So even coming from Georgia, when you first got recruited, you have been around for Jerry Kill, for Tracy Claeys, for PJ Fleck. Tell me about their different styles and what you've learned from each of them and what you liked about them.
So Coach Kill was a guy that knew a lot about you. He got to know you as a person. Well, all of my coaches did. I start by saying that they all get to know the type of person that you are. Um, um, they with Coach Kill and Coach Clay, that staff, it was more laid back as far as interaction goes with players. We were able to talk to them, of course, but with Coach Fleck, the differences between Coach Fleck and Coach Clay and Coach Kill, I would say is the how they go about it. Coach Fleck is, you'll know when he is talking to you. He'll ask you. He's very intentional, and like I said, it's different for everybody. But I enjoy both of them because me personally, I am a quiet guy. I do talk, but if there's no need to, I won't speak. And Coach Fleck kind of brought me out of my shell, and I appreciated that. But that's how they're different. Like I said, they both have different ways, but they both do truly care about their players.
Mm. That's actually something I noticed about you and actually a number of the players. I know you guys haven't gotten PR training because I just felt like even from you being a freshman to a senior, your media skills and your speaking engagements and all those, and a lot of the guys just improved so much. Do you just kind of pick up on that because of PJ, or does he actually say, like, this is how, a great way to express yourself. These are great things, like, how have you evolved that way?
We have conversations about it. And of course, seeing him and how he carries himself, it rubs off on your team. Any team is reflective of their coach, or they want to be a reflection of their coach. Um, and I think that the culture definitely does that. We speak our own language, as I'm sure you all have heard Gopher talk, and we truly do speak that way every day. And when you're speaking it and living it, like I said, it's infectious and it just shows up in the media as well.
What was your first impression the first day he came? Because I know when PJ did his first press conference, like, you know me, I talk a lot and I'm pretty loud. And I was, whoa, like I was overwhelmed. Like when he was busting out with elite and tecton and row the boat and everything, like, were you just like, holy cow? I mean, especially following Tracy Claeys, who was one of the most laid back guys.
Right. Our first team meeting was actually on Facebook Live, so it was different, but I liked it. Like I said, I was one of the guys that sent out a team message to all the guys on the team saying like, "Hey, this is our coach now. Let's get behind him, do what he says, learn about him, and he'll learn us." Um, and I think it's turning out good. Like I said, he's steering the ship in the direction that is good for Gophers in the future.
How has he helped you with this whole process, and what kind of contact do you have with him?
He actually texted me the other day. I did a FaceTime call with Mini PJ and Mini Rodney, and I guess their parents sent the picture to him. He just texted me saying thank you. But I'm sure he's pulling strings behind the scenes. I haven't had a lot of contact with him because of what's been going on. But I know that Coach Burns said that he made a few phone calls for me to try to get some things moving for me because I'm a kind of the under the radar guy. Well, not under the radar, but I got injured, didn't play in a postseason game, and I didn't get an invite to the combine. So I know that he's been helping out, making phone calls for me in that regard, behind the scenes, trying to get me in front of teams, whether that's my film or them calling me. So I know that he's helping out, and I would definitely thank him.
Yeah, that's great. By the way, you mentioned like Mini PJ, and kids love you. So the fact that you want to work with youth, I actually was on the phone with one of my friend's little girls at FaceTime call early this week, Emerson, and she's 9 years old. And I told her I was interviewing you, and I wish I could have captured it because she was like, "Oh, Rodney Smith. Oh my gosh!" She was like so excited. So you have a lot of fans out there, especially young fans that look up to you.
Well, I hope to meet them all.
She would love that. She'd love that. So there's a photo of you after your injury that circulation on social media with Coach Fleck carrying you on his back so you could make it out of practice. That was such a powerful image, and it showed that connection that you guys had. What were your thoughts when that happened? And do you feel like your relationship with PJ grew even more?
I don't think you think about it as it happens. Like I said, he's a pure guy. Like everything he does that's the way he is. That's him. So I was hobbling on my way, about to walk down the stairs, and he said, "Hey, you want me to carry you down the stairs, man? I got you." Like, and it was truly pure. Like I don't think he knew that somebody was following behind him with the camera or anything. So it definitely brought us together. He helped me throughout my rehab process. Anytime you get hurt, it's tough. But I think being a senior and getting hurt, he related with that. He said his senior year he got hurt as well. So he definitely kept me close. I talked to him a lot. He helped me through the process. He kept my mental good. Made sure that I was checking in with who I needed to check in with. We had sit downs and talks about how I was feeling, how the rehab process was going, how I was progressing throughout it, and how things would look during the season, and if I was comfortable or not getting out there that fast. He truly left everything up to me when it came to that, and like I said, I appreciate him because a lot of coaches, once you get cleared to go, it's like, hey, like you're fine, like let's roll, let's get out there and play. But he left it up to me, and I appreciated that.
That's great. I don't think people really understand coming back from an ACL injury, what that entails. What was your whole process mean? How long were you completely out for? What did you do after? Like, I mean, because I think the rest of us just think, I mean, I have torn my Achilles before, which by the way, I got yelled at by your mom for not elevating at a tailgate. She hears everybody. So I'm like, and you don't want to mess with her. Like you listen, because she knows.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think about my journey back was hard enough, and I don't have to perform at a college or professional level. So can you walk me through that?
So after you tear it, everybody's body is different. Depending on swelling, you have to wait a week or so for the swelling to go down. So during that time, you have to do prehab. So they have you do things like rehab before you actually get surgery. And then after prehab, you get surgery. Surgery is no fun.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I sleep on my stomach. So with an ACL surgery and sleeping on my stomach, I obviously can't do that. So I didn't sleep for a good month, I would say. But after surgery, they get you moving quick now. I think like 2 or 3 days they wanted me up moving it, so I get all my mobility back, flexion and extension, and of course you do all the strengthening and all of that stuff. But training to come back and play football is completely different. You have to get your body used to making the moves again, being in the body position again, bending your knees, staying in that position, maintaining strength. Muscle endurance is a big thing when coming off of a ACL tear. And the clock is truly different. Some people it takes 9 months. We saw Shannon come back in 2018 off of ACL and play in 6 months.
It's crazy.
Which is, by the way, is unreal. Okay, so just so everyone knows, when Shannon came back and played in 2018 against Indiana, he is the only person I have ever seen come back 6 months out of surgery and play the way he played.
Wow.
It was no like he has one speed and one speed only, and that is full speed, and you can see it against Indiana.
Oh my gosh. What is his update right now? Is he kind of preparing the same way you are?
Yeah, he is. He hired a agent recently. I know he's training. He's working out. I'm not sure where. I know he's in Minnesota, but I'm not sure where. I think he's training with somebody in the garage right now. But like I said, that's all we can do. You got to be creative now. Find a way to stay in shape.
Do you almost look at this could almost be a little bit of a positive because somebody like yourself that's really self-motivated can start showing how you can excel after this whole period of quarantine versus someone that's like, all right, like someone like me that's like, all right, I'll just have a glass of wine and hang out, you know?
Yeah, it's what you make of it. Yeah, like I said, it's truly up to person. There's nothing wrong with having a glass of wine. If that helps you perfect your craft.
I mean, I should have had one before this.
Ever.
I love it. Usually I ask about a favorite victory, but I'm just assuming yours is Penn State.
Definitely.
Okay, so what was that? I mean, we saw some videos, but like, what were your feelings about that celebration and that feeling?
I remember being excited because it's something that we as a team talked about doing. Um, we believe we can do it, even though I know a lot of people thought that we couldn't. And just like I said, with everything in that program, it's about proving ourselves right and proving, like I said, proving ourselves and going out there and doing it. And if we don't, then that's on us. Then we have to go back to the drawing board and uh, prepare better. But yeah, it was exciting just because we had talked about it all week. I believe that everybody saw it happening. Everybody envisioned them playing, making the plays that we needed to make to win the game. And like I said, to see that preparation pay off in a big time game was exciting for all of us.
What about any other favorite Gopher memories that you've had? I mean, it could be relationships, it could be
Yeah,
just one instance, but like things that maybe people don't think about when they think about like this great experience you've had.
I remember my first bowl game. It was the Citrus Bowl in 2015, uh, and just experiencing a New Year's Six bowl. And I was a redshirt freshman, so I didn't have to worry about playing. So it was truly a vacation for me. But just experiencing that with my teammates, my brothers, uh, it's something that I'll never forget. You'll never forget most of your teammates and the experiences that you have with them. And that's a big one that I have. I had fun going to the Citrus Bowl with my teammates in 2015.
I would say that was huge because I mean, in my lifetime, we had never gone to a New Year's Day bowl game either. So that was my first. And I remember there were rumors that day that you were not, that you were going to transfer.
I remember you tweeting that.
So, so for those of you who don't know this, Rodney's parents, Essie and Patrick, came to our tailgate for the Citrus Bowl, and I said, "Hey, do you want to clear this up? Can I go on record?" And Dad was like, "Look at me, look at me." He's like, "Look at this face, look," and he knew the date of the first game that followed. He's like, "You will see this face on August, whatever it was." He's like, "I will be there. I will be at the tailgate. I will be supporting my son." He's like, "Look at this face. Don't forget this face." And sure enough, for the next 5 years, every time he was there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh. I also have a couple outsider questions. One of mine is a deep one. When you mentioned before that you're willing to play, any position and do anything, I would like to hear about your experience when you were 12 years old as a tight end because you couldn't play running back because you were over the weight limit.
Okay.
Does that leave you speechless?
It does.
Did you struggle with your weight? Were you a big kid?
No, I didn't struggle with my weight. I was about the same size I am now.
Oh,
Yeah, I was a big kid. I think I developed faster than a lot of people, and everybody else caught up. So now I'm just one of the smaller guys. But yeah, I had to play offensive line. I wasn't even a tight end. I was a guard. Yeah. I couldn't play tackle because if you had an X on your helmet, you had to be within. Yeah, so I was a guard. Um, couldn't do any trick plays. Couldn't touch the ball. So the whole season, I was offensive lineman, and I was pretty good at it.
well, you won the championship that year.
I believe so. Yeah. hmm
See? So
And
you
then
know what?
we went to an off-season game, and I was able to play running back in there. I mean, play pretty good though. Then
So NFL teams know that Rodney has had experience on just about every single position, including offensive linemen.
offensive lineman.
I've got another one from Twitter from Tommy Slayton, who used to be work with Gopher basketball and with the Gophers. He's amazing. He's in law school now. He said he wanted to know about your connection with former running backs who played in the NFL and why you wanted a returner.
Running backs that went to the U.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
running backs who played in the NFL.
Okay. I talked to Cobb a lot. We play the game together sometimes. He's been a big brother figure for me. He's helped me through the process as well, through the entire process, my entire time in Minnesota. And I appreciate that from him, even though he ain't have to reach out to me, but him looking out for me, contacting people for me, and like I said, just making sure that my mind was right each and every week. It definitely touched my heart. Lawrence Maroney, I haven't talked to him, but he came to our game when I was a redshirt freshman, I believe, when we played Miami, Ohio. And just seeing and talking to him was cool because he's a NFL star. Everybody knows who Lawrence Maroney is. So just to meet him and see him in our locker room was neat and fun. Darrell Thompson, we already talked about Mr. Darrell, but yeah, he's a man. He looks out for me like I'm one of his own, and I say I appreciate him. And as far as being a returner, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's another way to get the ball. You don't have to. People have to block, but it's not as immediate like at running back. If someone misses a block or if a linebacker blitzes, they're in your face now. On kick return, you kind of had the ability to see it all unfolding from about 15, 20 yards before it actually happens. So I enjoy it. Like I said, it's another way to get the ball, uh, do something in space. And like I said, if you can change the game in special teams, that's always a big factor in the game.
Absolutely. Huge. We got another Twitter question too from Jake Byer. He wanted to know why you stopped doing the wave touchdown celebration.
Yeah.
And do you want to show, like, for those of us, since we have video, do you want to show us a little bit of that?
So when Coach Fleck got there, when he first got there, it was when we scored touchdowns, we weren't allowed to celebrate by ourselves. We had to celebrate with our teammates. So in 2017, that's why I didn't do it. And then in 2018, Mo started doing it. So I don't really have an explanation as to why I stopped, but it's kind of team rules. Not supposed to celebrate by ourselves, supposed to celebrate with our teammates. So I guess I abided by the rules. But I could have waved with my teammates. But I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just something that I passed down. I let Mo and the younger guys have it. He enjoyed it. That was kind of his tribute to me not being able to play. So might bring it back one day. We'll see what the future holds.
I actually love that the celebrations had to be team oriented, not individual. Are there any other changes like that kind of came into place when PJ came into the head coach role?
I'm sure everybody has seen we're not allowed to toss the ball to the referee or leave the ball on the ground. We have to walk to him and hand it to him. On third down, going to fourth down, defense has to put their fist in there if they're on the field. Everybody on defense does. That's just a staple of the program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are a few of the things that was different. You had to get adjusted to it. Even in practice, we can't toss the ball to the equipment managers. I know when they first got there, they didn't like us tossing the water bottles back to the trainers or sitting them on the ground. We had to give it to them, just to show appreciation for whatever it is we're using, whether that's the ball, because the ball is the program. If you value the ball, can win you games, and it definitely won us games this year, taking care of the ball. So I think those little details helped with that.
Yeah. I love that because I think all those little things do really matter and then they add up. And I think that just carries over in the rest of your life to just treat people well and with respect and
Mhm.
on everyone's part that win and that program. If it's the trainer, if it's the manager, if it's the star quarterback, if it's anybody, I think that that's a great lesson to learn.
Yeah, definitely.
Which coach were you the closest with in your Gopher career?
Ooh, that's tough. Me and Coach Kill were close because we both had chronic diseases. I'm a diabetic, and he has epilepsy.
Yeah.
So we were close. We shared stories about our health, um, and just talking about overcoming some of the hurdles that it comes with, and not using it as a crutch. Just keep pushing through it, no matter what it is, um, what the problem may be. Even if you do have a step back, it's not setback. It's not about the setback. It's how you respond to the setback. Um, but I was also real close with Coach Fleck as well, because he, like I said, he challenged me to come out of my shell. Um, so that's I couldn't really say. I'm pretty tight with both of the coaches.
That's great. I actually didn't know that you were diabetic. Type 1, I'm guessing.
Yeah, type 1 diabetic.
How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed at 8 years old.
Oh, wow. So this is another setback that you've had in your life and everything. You don't home anymore.
Sorry.
How do your parents have a home phone still?
Maybe I should put these outside. Is it? Can you can edit it, right?
Yeah, we can't edit it, but I'm just gonna let this go because it's well into the interview.
Uh-huh.
And this is real life. This is what we do. We're on quarantine. We're at home. We don't have like studios. We don't have fancy things. Like this is
That is hilarious.
it would have been great if you picked it up. Hello.
Oh man, I forgot what you just asked.
Managing your diabetes. What have you had to do that's different and to obviously be able to play and still have that?
Yeah, that's another thing that my parents helped me with a lot. So my mom is a registered nurse, so she actually saw some of the symptoms of me being diabetic, um, and she insisted that we go get checked, that I go get checked out for it. And my dad just thought I was just being a baby because
Of course he did.
I started no, it I good reason. I started. It doesn't count because I'm a diabetic and I didn't know at the time. But I was 8 years old and I started back peeing a bit. And my dad just thought I was, like, hey, you're 8, it's time to
Yeah.
grow up. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Good reason. Um,
Yeah. I mean, obviously that there's something wrong with you because that's not normal for like an 8-year-old to start doing that, you know?
right. So yeah, so but she helped me out with it. They helped me out with it. Her being a registered nurse, she kinda already had some context of it. She knew what it was. she just had to learn how to teach me how to manage it, and whether that be on game day, practice, after games, after practice, because being diabetic, all of that factors into me and how I perform. Because if you have a high or low blood sugar on game day or even days before game day, it's tough to go out and perform at your best. So finding the routine that was best for me, and as I grew up into a young adult, it changes obviously because my body's different, producing different hormones now. So managing it when I got to college was a little different. But I said my mom helped me with that. And my dad, he made sure that I didn't use it as a crutch. He made sure that I never missed a game because of it. Never used it as an excuse. So if I didn't want to run, it wasn't because my blood sugar was low. He made sure that. So it's been times in rec ball where we would have to do a lot of running, and I would, oh my goodness.
You guys are popular on the home phone line, the landline.
But yeah, he made sure I didn't use that as a crutch. Like I said, it's been, of course, any child growing up would test the waters. You know, it's been times in high school where I would tell my teacher that I had to go check my blood sugar and just go in the hallway and talk. So he caught on to it. He actually told me that one of his students tried it recently, and she didn't know that his son was diabetic. So he was like, I know how long it takes, so you can't be out there all day. You don't come back and write you up. So
Because your dad was your coach from what age to what age?
1 to 24, birth to 24, birth to now.
What is the most important thing he's taught you on the field and off the field?
On the field, I think they both go together. It's on and off. It's definitely preparation. On the field, how that relates. Of course, you have to know your opponent, know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing and you study your opponent, of course, it sets you up in the best position to be successful. Whether that's picking up a blitz for a running back or knowing how someone tackles, and how to make a miss, having to move when you get to the second level. He still watches all the games now and asks me questions about them. And off the field, preparation for just, you never know what happens in life, so you have to be prepared for anything. Just be the best you can be, whatever it is you put your mind to doing. Just make sure that you prepare to be the best at it that you can be. And he taught me that. He's still teaching me that. It's been days. It's quarantine. So it's tough. It's been days where he's like, "Hey man, you need to get up and you need to go run." So, like I said, I appreciate it. I'm staying at home, so of course I got to do chores again now as well. So
even possible future NFL players still have to do chores.
Still have to do chores. Still have to help out around the house. But it's only right. I'm at home. I'm in their house. And they raised me, so that's the least that I can do is wash the dishes and take the trash out and clean my room.
Clean my room, good boy. And we also too are very grateful to your mom for being a nurse and battling this whole pandemic and doing what she's doing. So always grateful to her for that. Gopher fans obviously love you. If you had one message for your fans and all the Gopher fans out there, what would it be?
Minnesota, I truly do love you all. You watched me grow into a young man, And without you all, I honestly don't know where I would be. I appreciated my time there, and everybody that I've came in contact with, even if we didn't come in contact. I feel your support. Um, love you guys. Means a lot to represent the state of Minnesota. And I'll always be a Gopher, and I will always rep Minnesota. Be safe during these times. Quarantine means stay at home. Uh, you can go out and run around the lake, but you have to go back home. No hanging out with your friends.
PSA from Rodney Smith. I love it. Well, thank you so much for the interview, for representing the Maroon and Gold with such class, and we cannot wait to see where your career takes you. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It means a lot.